Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. It's another Sunday. It's time to connect, and it's great to have you here. I'm super excited to have you. Do me a favor. Could you just tell me where you're reaching me from? I can see activity on Facebook. I can see activity on YouTube. On YouTube. Oh, yeah. So do me a favor and tell me where you're reaching me from. Right now in the comment section. Let me check it out. Go to the comment section and send me a message. All right, and let me see where you're joining us from. It's the 4th of September, and I am so glad to be here. Okay, so I'm waiting for the first comment. Who's going to be the first person to comment? Drop a message in the comment section. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Facebook. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTube. LinkedIn is great, super great to be here with you this Sunday evening. So we're gonna get started. Um, I'm super pumped up, and it's a super great day to be alive. Welcome to the month of September. We had an amazing August. In the month of August, it was super amazing. I'm waiting for the feedback on the comment section to come up. So I am checking that out right now. Feedback on the comment section to come up, and we will be taking it first. So please do send a comment. All right. So we're waiting on. Okay, so I can see some comments, but we're waiting for it to drop on our portal. I can see them on Facebook. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for joining in. Um, it's great to be here. It's great to have you all. It's great to see you all. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Thank you, Humble. Thank you, Morris. Morris Johnson, how you doing? It's great to be here. It's great to be here, Morris Johnson. Who else is joining us? Who else is joining us? Let's have that. All right, so we're going to be kicking off in a bit. So I was saying that the month of August was super amazing. We had the Impact series that ran over 3 weekends, 3 Sundays back to back. All right, the Impact series ran over 3 Sundays back to back. And I want to specially thank my guest from the Impact series, Obio KK and Dr. Blessing Effium. Thank you so much. Amazing time that we had with both of them, talking about impact, corporate impact, and talking about personal development, connecting the dots between personal development and impact. And it was super amazing. This month, we're going to be starting off a new series, as you probably can tell, and we're talking about the re-engineered you. All right, the re-engineered you, as you can see on the flyer and on the banner there, the re-engineered you, and it promises to be super amazing, super amazing. Now, one of the things that I was having a conversation just before I came on here, and I was saying to the person I was discussing with that one of the things that's very important, I find very important, that now is actually the time to begin to prepare for next year. You don't wait till December. You don't wait till, definitely, God forbid, you don't wait till January to begin to prepare for the year that has the January. No, you've already set up yourself for issues and stress. And many people will say, "Oh, the preparation that we've been having." Well, try not preparing. You have an idea of what life will hand you. So we're looking to have like a sort of reset with this series that will open up a lot of other things that we have coming in this final 4 months of the year, from September running all through to December when we close. It's going to be really interesting. So I just want to ask everybody to go ahead, share the video. I'm going to be starting the session in a bit. Share the video with as many people as you can. Put it up on your live feeds. Let folks, friends, Keith and Kane, let them join in, and then we will get started. I am not seeing the comments from on my portal, but I can see it. I can see it on the Facebook. I can see it from my other device. Chiamaka, it's great to have you here. It's great to have you here as well. Leah, I can see Leah is joining us. Leah from Kenya, my sister from Kenya. How you doing? It's great to have you join us as well. Leah, we should be having you on the Connect really soon, sometime really soon. All right. It's been an amazing week. I had a super amazing week. Starting off as a rounded of the month of August and came into February, all right, and we opened up. I'm sorry, came into September rather. Oh my goodness, where's my mind? And then came into the month of September, and it's been great. I mean, I really do see, and I'll tell you this on a personal level, I really do see the rest of the year going really well. I made a prayer in the course of the week, and I said that every single thing that was hitherto unachievable, seemingly unachievable, from January down to August, you will receive and you will experience from September to December. And I mean it. And there's a reason why I said it. Because of this series that we are going into, the Re-engineered You. And the re-engineering that we're discussing now is will literally make all of that available. What will literally make all of that available. All right. So shout out to everybody who is looking to win in the rest of the year. Shout out to everybody who is looking to learn in the rest of the year. More than that, shout out to everyone who is willing to apply what they have learned for the rest of the year. You will win. You will win. All right, so we're going to get straight into it right now. Great to have everybody here. We're going to get straight into it right now. So we're talking about re-engineering, and I really believe, and I'm going to be speaking from my heart. Like I said, this is the one-on-one session with me today. There's no other guest in the studio, so you have me to yourself. All right, so make of me what you will, but you have me to yourself. And I was saying that one of the things that came to my mind when we were conceptualizing the remaining series for the rest of the year was that there was a need for people to be able to do a quick review, and not just a quick review, to be able to do a deep review. So somebody notes that down: a quick review and a deep review. A quick review and a deep review. A quick review and a deep review. All right, of how the year has been, and more importantly, not necessarily about how the year has been, why it has been the way that it has been. Many times, one of the things I say to people is it's not just enough to know. A lot of people know stuff, a lot of people know a lot of things, but not too many people understand things. And what you know doesn't necessarily bail you out. What you understand, which helps you apply what you know in the way that you ought to apply it to your situation and to your circumstance, is what bails you out of any situation or circumstance that you're in. So you can know a thing, but if you do not understand what you know well enough to be able to apply what you know in a way that will deliver results unto you in any area of your life, it could be in the academics, it could be in your career, it could be in whatever it is, it could be in business, it could be in your initiatives, it could be in HR, it could be on your job, it does not matter. But the principle I'm trying to tell you here, and I really need you to understand, is you have to understand the things that you know. And I need somebody to write that down. You need to understand the things that you know. So it's not just enough to know. There are a lot of things that you know. It's a real danger, a pretending danger when you don't know what you should know. But it's even more worrisome, right? When it's even more worrisome when you don't know, or when you know but don't even understand. Because you're now knowing in this situation gives you a full sense of how do I put it, of ownership of the fact, oh, well, I know a thing, but it's not really what you know that sorts you out in life. It's what you understand. And if you don't seek to understand the thing, then there's absolutely no way you can innovate in it. There's absolutely no way you can improve on it. There's absolutely no way you can apply it in the most effective and to efficient way that will serve you and will help you fulfill purpose. So somebody think about that. Somebody think about that very, very carefully before we go on. All right. So a couple of things that I wanted us to know, which is why I laid that opening at the very instance. Now, when we talk of reengineering, and I said that the driving force behind this was that there was a need for us to reflect and review. Reflect, have a quick reflection, and have a deep reflection or review of not just how the year has gone and how we have functioned in the year, in the months that have gone past, but more importantly, why we have functioned in the way that we have functioned in the month past, and why the year that has gone thus far has gone in the way that it has gone. Mm. So it's important that we catch that, and that's why I'm reiterating that, so that we can get it, we can catch it. All right, so that we can catch it real good. So we're looking at I'm still trying to get the comment section from this end. Something wrong with the portal. These messages are not dropping, even though I'm seeing them right here on my other device. Something is going on here. Anyway, so we move on. So now let's look at re-engineering, the whole idea of re-engineering. So if we take the context that I've laid out, which is about having a review, re-engineering therefore will now be that we are basically reorganizing, and every time you have re attached to a word, it means that we are repeating, we are doing it again, we are having a second, third, or fourth look again at whatever system that we have, or whatever model that we're running, or whatever operations that we're having. Bottom line is that we are reorganizing to improve efficiency, to deliver better outcomes. And now I want to take it further. We are looking to reorganize, all right, to improve efficiency, to get significantly better outcomes, because re-engineering is not cheap. Note that. And I'm not necessarily talking in terms of financial value. Re-engineering is not cheap because it requires a complete, hear me now, a complete overhaul. In fact, there are many school of thoughts that tell you, whether it's in business or personal development, that re-engineering is not improvement. Note that. Re-engineering is not improvement, and I want somebody to get that down. If you can write that down for me, write that down. Re-engineering is not improvement. Re-engineering is a new beginning. So when we talk about organizing, taking into cognizance processes, and critiquing and looking at the fundamental rethinking and radical redesigning of those processes that have to do with us and the systems in which we're in. Remember, I don't know if I said it here or on another platform that I was speaking maybe in the couple of weeks that went past, that you are a system, you, an individual, you're a system, and you function in a system, whether it's at work, whether it's relationship, whether it's family, and these systems come together to form a system, which is the entirety of your life. There must be a sync between your inner system, which has to do with your ideologies, your beliefs. It has to do with your right thinking or forward thinking. It has to do with your concepts. It has to do with your perceptions. It has to do with your bias. It has to do with your experiences and your interpretations of those experiences. It has to do with your general mindset and your general overview and the way that you see the things that you see. And All of that forms the system that is you, which is governed and guided by your values, which is directed by your vision, and which is lived out through your mission. So you have your values that provide some sort of guidance and covering. You have your vision, which endears and pulls you towards a goal or an end, an objective. And then you have the mission, which serves you to be able to form a methodology or a pathway or a channel that you follow. Your very existence, your day to day life, the key activities of your life, the decisions that you take, and why you take the decisions that you take, the plans, your strategies, your purpose to impact plan. We talked about that over the last 2 weeks. Your purpose to impact plan, and all of that within the system that you are. That system that you are must be in sync with the system that you are in. The system that you are, somebody note that, write that down for me. The system that you are must be in sync with the system that you're in for you to be able to function to your maximum or to your optimal. Where there is a discordance with the system that you're in, and your system that you're in doesn't mean that you're conforming to the norms. No, no, no. It simply means that the system already has what allows you to thrive, to function optimally. But when your system within, your values, your activities, your kids, and all those other things that I listed and enumerated just a few minutes ago, are not in sync, like I say to many people, when what is in your heart is not in sync with what comes out of your mouth, you're in conflict. When what you do doesn't align with what you say, then you're in conflict. When what you think, your thoughts, as a man as a man thinketh in his heart, from the place of identity, so he is. But when what you do does not correlate with what, or does not sync, it's not in tandem, right? It's not in tandem with what you think, all right, in your heart, then you're in a place of conflict and you have an internal strife. And when you have that internal strife, stay with me, I'm only just starting. We're going on the journey today, I promise you. That internal strife does not allow you to be in sync with the system that you're operating in. So, whether it's your career, whether it's your work, whether it's your family, whether it's your multi different levels or different exposures, there's where there are measures of inconsistency. That's why for me, my definition of success is when everything in your life is pointing in one direction. Many people have many definitions of success, and I could dig deep, to break that down for you, but time will not permit me. When everything in your life is pointing in one direction, when there's peace within you, which steadies everything around about you from within. The compass that guides what you'll be is from within. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So you have a system within a system, and the system within you must be in sync with the system without you. The system without you is the system in which you function, the system in which you are. All right. So, great. I'm reading your comments. Unfortunately, like I said, I really do apologize. We don't know what's going on with the glitch, but I'm seeing your comments. I'm seeing your comments right here, so I can read your comments as well. All right. So your system within must be in sync with the system without. And reengineering is you having a total fundamental rethinking and a radical redesigning of your system so that it can more effectively and more efficiently be in sync with the system in which you're called to function in. That's how you fulfill purpose. So the re-engineered you is not just desirable, the re-engineered you is a must have. Your purpose is unachievable without you being re-engineered. Because the truth of the matter is that if you did not require re-engineering, then you will have hit the milestones and the journey and the pathway of your purpose many years ago. But it's normal, and I'm not speaking from an elevated position. No, no, sir, no, ma. I'm speaking from a point of understanding that even I, as you, all right, have to go through a process every now and then, understanding that what you have held on to many times will not be able to serve you throughout on your journey. And sometimes some thoughts and ideologies and concepts that you have locked up within you will not be able to deliver outputs and outcomes that you need to be able to fulfill purpose. And so, what I really want to be able to do in today's session is to be as simple as I know that I have the ability to get very technical and all of that, but I really want to be as simple, all right, as I can. As simple as I can. So I'm going to lay this out in simple terms, and at the top of the hour, hopefully we'll be able to cover as much as we can, and then we'll close. So reengineering isn't about fixing you. Engineering is not about fixing you. Reengineering is about literally taking out the old in the new. Reengineering is not about managing you. Reengineering is literally about recreating you. Recreation. And the beautiful thing about it is, that's why I said, guys, the beautiful thing about reengineering is it's not a small test. Let's try it out. Let's try and do it this way or not. No, it's a radical move. It's for the bold. It takes courage. It takes humility, and it takes courage to be re-engineered. I'll say it again. It takes courage and it takes humility to be re-engineered. I read somewhere or I heard somewhere that re-engineering is a all or nothing proposition. If you are not, that's why I say to people, if you are not ready to change, don't start the process. Because the worst thing that I can say to you, and this is my personal opinion, and I've seen this over the years, even in my life and other, the worst thing that can happen to you is to have a taste of something that you're not willing to go along the way. What happens is that that thing becomes like a vaccine to you, so that when you now are ready to experience it, you become immune to it. May you never be immune to the change that will deliver the right kind of outcomes for you. So that's why you have to be very careful. That's why I said, remember, I keep saying it's a radical redesigning of your thought processes and your key activities. Because your key is not just about your key activities. If you've ever listened to me on any platform, you will know that I'm more concerned about your identity than I'm concerned about your actions. I'm more concerned about your heart than I'm concerned about your acts. And I always say it. Actors act. That's what they do. And when you act, when the scripts change, you change what you do. When situations change, you change. When the lights go off, you change. When the mic is off, you change, because that's what actors do. They act. But when you're coming from the place of your heart, which is the place of your identity, all right, which speaks to your authenticity. So note that it comes the place of your identity speaks to your authenticity. Then guess what happens? You are able now to find something that is truly workable for you. So the redesigning that you're doing is not just because you know what we want you to do. No, no, no. It is that you have to be authentic for the right redesigning to work for you. Because I can't carry the body work of a Lamborghini and then put it on the truck. But many times, because we are not coming from a place of authenticity, because we are not humble enough to admit our flaws, our idiosyncrasies, admit our weaknesses or shortcomings, so that we can critically address them. We are arrogant and exaggerate on our strengths and over project our wins and our victories, and we do not rightly apportion them as they should be, so that they can be taken into right consideration and the right strategy can be developed around it. We'll find out that even if we attempt to change, we're changing the wrong thing. Did you get that? That even if we're recreating based on where you're coming from, we'll be recreating the wrong thing, because what you're putting forward as what the issues are not really what the issues are. So if this was the medical situation, I'll be giving medicament or medicine to the wrong ailment or the wrong diagnosis. Now you know how really dangerous that is. When you give the wrong medicament to um, when you give the wrong medicament to the wrong diagnosis. So it's very, very important, very critical that we take that into place. So now let me go forward. I'm trying to also check the comment section. All right, let me take a bit and just look at the comments. Sorry again, like I said, I can't put up the comments yet, but let me look at what I have here so far. Let me take this from the top and then I'll come back to you. Stephanie, thank you, Stephanie. Stephanie says the system that you must be in, that you are in, that is in you, must be in sync with the system that you're in. So the system within you must be in sync with the system that you're functioning in, for you to be able to effectively and efficiently move along the pathway of fulfilling your purpose. All right, that's good. So Chairman Joseph Morgan says, what you understand is what builds you out of any situation. Yeah, thank you very much. And so it's not necessarily what you know. What you know is great, but what you understand is what really makes the difference for you. All right, what you know is good. What you understand is what makes you great. Okay, reengineering is not an improvement, but it's a new beginning. Absolutely, 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 absolutely. Yeah. So reengineering, as I said, Dr. Blessing says reengineering is about recreation. Absolutely. And not renovation. Way to go. So yeah, that's what was happening to you in that phase. Well, I can only imagine, but that's the truth. It's something new. And you know, as human beings, what happens with us many times, guys, hear this. What happens with us many times is we resist change. Change is uncomfortable for many people. Change is something that many people rather not have. Rather not have. It's okay. Let me just adapt to where I am. Let me try and change where I am. Let me try and, fit in with where I am. But many times, for you to be able to function at the level of which you're called to function, you have to literally be taken away. Things have to be broken, tossed out, so that they can be so that you can have a new beginning. I was in a session yesterday, and somebody I respect so much made a comment that literally blew my mind, and I was like, wow, I see he had an idea of what I was going to be sharing with you today. Do you know, before I go forward, do you know that many times we go into the weekend and we say the weekend is, we're going to have recreation. And many times when people hear recreation, the first thing that comes to their mind is rest, recreation, or recreational activities. You're going to play or have fun or have games, recreation. But have you ever looked at that word and sought to understand it? It's the fusion of re, which means again, and creates. Recreates. Recreates. So you recreate power, recreate energy, recreate relationships, recreate bonding, recreate positive mindsets, recreate a can do spirit. Is somebody with me? Write it down. Recreate love, recreate family, recreate relationships, recreation, recreate. Which brought me to re-engineer, rework, recreate systems that will deliver what the old could not deliver. Recreate a mindset that can carry the vision and translate it into mission by way of the methodology and key activities, and be guided by the values that will deliver that mission to you. Recreate. Recreate operational processes that deliver an outcome to you. So what are the things that help you? What will now be the processes of your re-engineering? Processes of your re-engineering. And I want to do this on the 4 lines of thoughts. And God will help me with time to be able to put all these thoughts together. All right, I want to do this. So the first one, the process of re-engineering. Let's have a conversation around this. So I just have 4 areas of 4, if you like, 4 thematic areas of conversation, and let's talk around it and see how far we can go tonight. So the first is the process of re-engineering and how it relates to growth. And as I speak, I want you to think along these things. From time to time, I'll be referring back to my other gizmo to see what comments you have. I'm really pained that I can't be throwing up your comments here, but then please do forgive me, even as I ask to forgive myself. All right. Thank you very much, George Asian, for joining us. I'm just following through to see the guys that are in. George Asian. George is a phenomenal. There was a post George put up today or yesterday. If I get to that post, I'll share it at the end. I thought it was very insightful. So we're looking at the process of re-engineering and how it relates to growth. I just described what re-engineering is. And if you look at it from the business term, right? Now I'm a business development consultant, and I've been in business development for about 21 years in different fields, and it has to do with business development and communication and a lot of other things. But probably I've been doing business development for about 21 years and kind of learnt a few things over the years. Now, re-engineering usually in business terms, right, is also called the BPR, which is the business process redesign. Remember, we're looking at process, and when I talk of business now, you're looking at, say, a business entity. I want you to take that and be able to relate it to you. You're an entity. So when you look at the processes of your life, you look at the key activities of your life, you look at your goals, your objectives, you look at your vision for yourself. And I do hope that you do have a vision for yourself. And you've looked at how to be able to connect the dots between where you are and where that vision will bring you to. And you look at the things that guide the decisions that you take on that journey. Then I want you to take the things I'm going to share now and things that I've been sharing and apply it, all right, to yourself and see how it, how it fits in. Because the understanding of the principle is what makes applicability work for you. We're back to understanding, right? So let's look at there's 7 areas, as I've learned over the years, all right, in the business process redesign. 7 areas. The BPR, 7 areas that, let me jump to Facebook and see what's going on there. 7 areas. So first is vision, second is hypothesis. Somebody can write that down. First is vision, second is hypothesis, the third is mining, the fourth is design. So business, vision, hypothesis, mining, design, simulation, go live, and monitoring. That's for business. that's for that's for business. Do you understand? Now let's look at other steps that or let me try and make it easier. Let's look at other reengineering steps. So first of all, analyze, first of all, map where you are, map the current states of your processes. Again, like I said, I'm giving you a knowledge and I want you to tie it to the person. This has worked for me, it's worked for a lot of other people that have taken on models and programs like this, and I guarantee you, my friends, that it will work for you as well. So the first thing I want you to do is to say, map the current states of where you are. And there are many models for this. You could do a SWOT analysis of yourself. There are many self-appraisal, self-awareness models that you could apply to yourself. Self-appraisal really that allows you to be able to look at yourself. The prerequisite here is that you have to be brutally honest with yourself. I said earlier, and guys, I'm going to reiterate. I said earlier, listen to me carefully. I said earlier that reengineering is not for the faint-hearted. If you're not ready, don't bother. If you haven't come to a place, and if you're not willing to be serious about it, and by seriousness, I mean your commitment and your willingness to be brutally honest with yourself, then don't worry. Too many people want to be pampered. There was someone I knew recently who was working on changing certain things, working on changing, but was not willing to be radical about the change and wanted to simply paint what wasn't working well and hoping that somehow, if it's broken, cover it up. If it's shattered, ignore it and act like it's okay, and profess it and just believe that it is fine and that you're getting better, and hopefully you'll get better. You don't really want to know what I think about such things, because even faith, and I dare anyone here to contest with me on this, even faith is hinged on something. And so your willingness to believe for better has to be tied or anchored to something. It has to be anchored to something. Every growth is measured by a variance. There has to be an actual realization of where you are or where you were in relation to where you are. And so if there's something fundamentally wrong with the determination of where you were, then the measurement of growth cannot be said to be factual or true. In other words, there is now therefore an error in judgment. Not because the measuring tool was faulty, which might be opportunity or an assignment given to you, expecting that you have the capacity to be able to deliver it, but because you were not honest enough. Are you with me? That you were not honest enough to be able to critically assess the state of yourself as at the time of the beginning of the reengineering process. After all, imagine, the first question that God had asked humanity, asked Adam, was, where are you? So where are you is just such a critical question. You have to be able to determine where you are. There is a place you're coming from. There's a place you're starting from. There's a place that you're assessing from. There's a place that you want to get up from, and you can't not be untruthful about it. You cannot not be misguided about it. You can't be lying about it. You have to be bold and courageous enough to be able to assess it for what it is. No matter how bad it is, no matter how broken it is, no matter how dysfunctional it is, the variance only makes for a great story. The process of engineering and how it relates to it. And so if you look at mapping out the process, which is one, you look at analyzing the process and finding what the disconnect is. Okay, so I'm trying to move ahead now. Mapping out and finding out what the disconnecting is. You look for how to improvement opportunities, and then you seek to how to validate them, and then you now design a roadmap or a state process map that allows you to be able to develop a way forward, and then you implement, all right, taking into consideration everything that has to do with you and without you as much as you can, and then you monitor going forward. So the process of reengineering allows you to grow, because growth is not just time periodical passing by. Growth is you letting go of what is not needed to make room for what is required so that the desired outcome can be achieved in the best possible way. That is growth. So the process of reengineering ensures and allows growth to happen. Growth will not happen significantly. Remember what I said? Reengineering is not for improvement, it's for a radical, significant change. It doesn't happen if there's not a reengineering. Reengineering is what allows for the fresh air to come in and for what wasn't working to be let go of. So it's very key. Another area of conversation that I wanted us to think about, and 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 I want us to also take into consideration. So each of this, we're going to spread it and break it out. If we can take it all this week, trust me, by next week, we'll be able to go deeper into it. But I'm just introducing these areas of thoughts for to deepen our conversation and to also get your mind thinking in the right direction. Reengineering and the evolving of the human mind. Let's talk about this for a bit. The first thing that happens in any reengineering process has to be the reengineering of the mind. A mind that is stuck in the past order will not be able to see the possibilities and the potentials of a reorder. Every time a reorder that ordinarily should work fails, it's because not necessarily because the strategy for the reorder was not put in place. Because if you have gone through the process of reengineering, then you will have come out by default with something that works best for you. And what works best for you works best for you. But it will not work because your mind has not left where it was in the old and has not been able to be repositioned to function in the new. So there's a problem with that. There's a challenge. There's a challenge with that. All right. I'm wondering if you lost me there for a bit. If you did, please let me know so that I can repeat a few of the things that I said. So We talked about reengineering and the evolving of mind, and I said that the first thing that has to change in any reengineering process is your mind. Because if you don't think there's a problem, you're not going to look for a solution. So it's one thing to first of all recognize that there's a problem and then believe, all right, that you have what it takes to provide the solution to that problem, to sort out that problem. And then begin to find the ways of delivering value by way of solution to that situation that creates the radical change that ensures that you deliver on your significantly different outputs. So it starts from the mind. It starts with a critiquing and a questioning of the things that you believed about yourself and your engagement and interaction with the systems that you're in. It starts with you having a look beyond the look that you had previous to this time, of how the system within you is engaging and interacting with the system without you. In other words, the system that you're in. Did you get that? The mind. Re-engineering allows you to be able to go back to the place of authenticity. What you're wired to excel, what you're wired to win with, is tied to your place of identity, which is the place of your authenticity. Do you understand that? And so your mind that was stuck in a certain way of getting things done and getting used to not seeing the kind of outputs that you wanted, but wasn't willing to shift from the kind of things that allowed you to do what you do. No person desires to be in conflict. So your mind and the borders of your mind it allows your mind to evolve. Reengineering allows your mind to evolve. Strategy meetings and they have reengineering meetings. We've done quite a bit for many organizations where they really just want to re-engineer. Everybody just comes together, because before you even go out there to run, to do the things in the field,